this book, when I did the records list at the end, I could have filled it with 30 and 40 pound carp. More so than I could have filled it with 2 pound roach 30 years ago. So in the 40 years that I've been writing this, I first wrote this in 1973, that's exactly 40 years ago, the change has been astronomical. Well, this for me is the big question. And it's a little sad in a way that the Environment Agency, having charged anglers 25 million to look after their rivers, have not done so. Years ago when you had a licence, you had a little book of rules with it, and it said that the Environment Agency or Angling Water or the National Rivers Authority or the East Suffolk and Norfolk River Authority, which have all controlled these rivers around here in the last 40 years, the implication was that they had to maintain and protect our inland waterways. They haven't done that. They do loads of surveys, and that's about all they do. And the surveys brought forth the knowledge that we have now got the lowest run of eels ever in our history. And as eels are supposed to be the otter's favourite food, you can understand why the otters haven't got a lot to eat in the rivers, especially as the cormorants have wiped out most of the roach and dace and rudd in the upper reaches of the clear-flowing rivers. We're not talking about broadland rivers now, deep rivers that otters find trouble with lots of people around actually getting a living from. We're talking about the clear-flowing, hundreds and hundreds of miles of the upper reaches of the River Bure, the Yare, all these rivers in Norfolk. And I think it's very sad that they didn't do any feasibility studies before they then helped Natural England to introduce otters. Because it was bad enough with the cormorants taking out all the middle fish, and now the otters are taking out the few big fish that are left. And whilst we do nothing about those otters, nothing's ever going to come through to get big again. 5 years ago, I helped form the Predation Action Group with Tim Paisley and various other guys because I could foresee this was going to be a big problem. And to those of you who are in parts of Britain where you've never seen an otter and you haven't got your chub and barbel being eaten on a daily basis, then fine, you've got no reason to worry at the moment. But when you do, you'll understand that the otter is not a little cuddly, furry tarka. It's the world's largest predatory rat that not only eats fish, it eats any other little mammal, snakes, toads, newts, frogs, and it eats lots of ground nesting birds. I live here in peaceful surroundings where it looks as though it's a wonderful wildlife haven. It's not anymore because the otters eat all the ducks on nests. I haven't seen a duck here, a mallard, swimming along with 10 little bumblebees behind her for 3 years. Now those otters take the ducklings off the nest, they take them off the water, or they eat the eggs before they even hatch, and they eat the mum on the nest as well. You see, and I'm sorry to be long with this, we've got to go back 50, 60 years, 70 years to when otters were last, not common, but seen around in Britain. Prior to that, like foxes, they were hunted, and you can understand why our forefathers hunted otters, because they were a pain in the neck. They used to eat all these other creatures and eat the fish that people used to eat, because in those days, people used to eat freshwater fish. So the otters had to be controlled. Then there was that big time when we didn't have any otters, right up until the late 1990s, when the Environment Agency, with Natural England, in their infinite wisdom, decided to reintroduce them. And of course, since then, they've multiplied. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nobody's hunting them. And they're just going to run riot. And they're eating all the big fish that we want to catch. They're going on to people's garden ponds. They're going into every carp fishery. And in the Predation Action Group, we're trying to bring back the farmer's defence, which is that if your dog worries a farmer's sheep or the ewes at lambing time, he's allowed to shoot it. Well, I can stop my lake, as I have, with lots of big expensive carp, and you know, a £20 can't cost you 500 quid. An otter can kill all them and leave them for a fox to drag off. And I've got nothing to, I can't do anything about it. Well, that's wrong. We need to be able to, fisheries need to be able to control otters or anything else that eats their stock, just like the farmer.